about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not ready.
Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me Isabel here with a Kindle Oasis first impressions after my first 30-ish days of having one. I ordered this in March and I've now officially had it for like right about 30 days when this video goes up. So I felt like I had enough of a feeling to give a first impressions, first thoughts, where I stand on it currently. I can check in again in a few months if these things change and you're curious. But for now, let's talk about why I bought one, things like that. So first of all, I want to let you know, in case you're new to my channel here, the kind of reader I am. I read 100+ books a year, easily. I read only digitally, so I am a Kindle reader. I read on my Kindle every single day, anywhere from an hour to 4 or more hours in a day. It just depends on the day and what's going on. So I would consider myself a power user of this product. I have been a Paperwhite reader. I've had a Kindle keyboard. That was my first Kindle. My first Kindle was a Kindle keyboard in 2008. So know that. I've been a Kindle reader for a long time. I think it was 2008 or 9. Yeah, somewhere in there. I've had a Kindle for a very long time now. And it has definitely been what allows me to read so much. I've never really been a big iPad or phone reader person. I will read on my phone if I have to, but it's not my preference. I personally don't like the eye strain from the screen. And if I'm reading, I want to be focused on that and not distracted by Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, etc. So yeah, I am definitely a big user of the Kindle. I've had multiple Kindles at this point, various Paperwhites and other generations of the basic Kindle. I've never had one of the upgraded versions like the Oasis. So this is my first go at it. I feel like that gives you a frame of reference. I'm reviewing this and talking about this as a reader, not as a tech person or anything like that, because I just don't care. I could, but I don't. You can go watch other videos that tell you all the stats of like the DPI and the refresh rate of the processor. I know this has a slightly better processor. I know what that means. But I feel like in the context as a reader, who cares? I just want to know, can I read my books on this? How's the battery life? How does it do? What do I think? All right. So that's the question I'm going to answer. I'm going to tell you if I think that the Kindle Oasis is worth the upgrade for you or not. So first of all, the Kindle I bought is the Kindle Oasis current generation that came out in 2019. It is the champagne gold color. This is a 32 GB one. I paid $180 for it from unclaimed baggage. So I did not buy this directly from Amazon. I will note that so you're aware. We'll talk about it more later. But yeah, that is what this is that I have in my hand. So let's grab up my Paperwhite. I currently have this out of the case. We'll talk about that more. But this is the two devices lined up about corner to corner. You do have a solid like inch more of reading space here, which I do like. Well, actually, let me do that. So yeah, there's like a solid little over an inch. The screen size is a little bigger though. Hold on. Sorry, this one I rotated it. There we go. So as you can see, the screen on the Oasis is a little bigger than this. It is also like a glass screen, whereas this is more plastic, but they both are flush to the cases, like to the exteriors. This has like the aluminum, this is plastic. I use a pop socket on my Kindle Paperwhite. If you aren't using a pop socket on yours, I can't recommend it enough because it does stop you from hitting it, the pinky power button situation. So these are the two devices. Let me show you the thickness. This is the thickest side of the Oasis, if I can get it there. So it's just a little bit thicker, or maybe about the same thickness, honestly, as the Paperwhite. And then obviously on the thinner side, here it is much thinner. I'm gonna put this back in the case. I do just have the basic case from Amazon. This is not an Amazon brand. It's just a whatever. I'll link it down below if you're curious. This one is by Moco. It fits in here really nicely. And then you can grip it better and you have the back cover. I usually grip it like this when I'm reading, or some variation of that, or just this and have the cover hit my hands. Doesn't bother me any. I mostly just like having a cover on it because I leave it laying around. I throw it in my bag. I want something to keep it a little bit more secure. I will say the one thing I've noticed on this versus my Paperwhite, it's a big thing. I haven't touched my Paperwhite in a month and the battery is currently at 85%. This I have had to charge twice since getting it. I think I charge my Paperwhite once a month or once every 3 weeks. Give or take. Again, I'm reading a lot on my Kindle, so I know I'm gonna have to charge it more, but part of that is that I don't want to buy every single book I read. Instead, I want to buy the books I love and own those. I think I read 60% of the book I'm currently reading and hit about 74% on the battery, so not terrible, but there's a lot of things I've taken and put into place to help preserve battery life on the Oasis. So I just think the battery in the Oasis does not hold a candle to the Paperwhite battery because that battery lasts so long. Like once you get all your books first downloaded and indexed, which does take a while, I really think once you have indexed all your books and set up the Kindle, the Paperwhite battery, I mean, I'm not worried about taking it on vacation if I didn't charge the Paperwhite. The Oasis, I'm bringing a charger with me. And if I have a long flight, I may opt for the Paperwhite over the Oasis in the flight because I would be worried about it dying. I am leaving the Oasis in airplane mode at all times with the Bluetooth off to help also preserve that battery. That is one thing. I keep the brightness down. I don't really use the warm light feature. I would like to use it a little more and try it some more here, but I'm concerned about it draining the battery, and then I'm in the middle of a book like I did in my first week with it and it dies at 95% left in the book. And that is not what we want. But let's talk about some of the Oasis only features that I'm really personally loving. I do think the warm light adjustment auto schedule situation is kind of cool. It'll like slowly shift the temperature of your screen to be like different yellowness as you use it, and I will show you. Hold on. Here it is, full 24. You can kind of see the yellow tint here. And then like 14 is just your regular white and black. You know, 17, 18 in there would be an in between. So it does have that. You can schedule it to like adjust that lighting for you throughout the day. I generally have been keeping mine around a 12 and my brightness around a 12 to 15, depending. And then I turn it into dark mode, which is your classic, the reverse imaging at night when I sleep, when I read before bed. So I do love the warmth feature. The other thing I'm absolutely in love with is, and I will show you. All right, so we have the buttons on this side. And when we flip, everything flips. And I love that. So when you're laying in bed and you're reading like this and you roll over and you want to flip it, it just flips. I don't have to think about it. If this elbow is bugging me or this hand, I can just flip hands, good to go. It auto rotates. I love the auto rotate and I love the buttons. I think that's really nice. The auto schedule feature is also kind of cool. Like I said, I don't really use it. I'm generally reading during the day or at night. So most of what I need is either bright or off. I have dropped it in the bathtub. It is waterproof, just like the other Paperwhite is. So you're good to go on that front. And I will say I love the ability to actually read comfortably one-handed, because when you're reading on a Paperwhite, like it can kind of be, I don't know, a little weird with the swipes. Like sometimes I won't register my like turning the page like this. But when I'm on the Oasis, I just hit the button. And to the next page we go. And I feel like I'm often reading one-handed, and I think a lot of romance readers are, so maybe not, but you know, I had to make the joke, guys. I had to make the joke because we read romance, we read smutty books. But yeah, so I do love the buttons, I'm not gonna lie. So why did I personally decide to upgrade to the Oasis? I had extra money from my stimulus check and I wanted to treat myself for a hard year in, and I wanted to change up my reading a little, give it a little upgrade. And that is exactly what the Oasis is doing for me. I also was having some hand pain from like too much phone time, like this or this, you know, all of the things, too much computer tech time. And I wanted to make sure I had a device that I could hit buttons with and not swipe, and really just focus in on my reading. Yeah, so I was just really curious about the device. I've been curious for a long time. I have friends with this device. They also have the same battery issue I'm talking about. When I tweeted about it, I got an assortment of answers. A lot of people, same thing, battery issue if they don't monitor the brightness, and all those settings. You're probably like, as well, you're just telling me all the reasons not to buy it. Maybe I'm enforcing why you should get it, but here are my final thoughts on who should or shouldn't get the Kindle Oasis. If this is your first e-reader, do not drop the extra cash on this device. It'll serve you best to buy a Paperwhite on sale from Amazon or unclaimed baggage, because that's gonna be $100 or less, ideally. You don't need a 32 gigabyte device unless you're gonna put your audiobooks on it. I personally am not. That's just what they had on unclaimed, so that's what I got. To be honest with you. Yeah, so you don't need the big one. You can definitely get the 8 gigabyte. But I still don't think the price proposition is fully there with the battery life situation. I have a chart where I tracked my battery life, and I, no joke, read for, here's my chart. I don't know the total number of hours it took for me to kill the battery though. And I will do that math and put it up right here for you in front of my face. So editing me, here you go. All right, so yeah, that's how long it took me to read on it, and drained the battery to a point at which I felt like I needed to charge it to not be screwed on my reading. So do you already love your Kindle and your e-reader and you want that upgrade, like you want the slightly nicer grip situation, but you do need a case. You cannot, that metal back is too slippery to use without a case, in my opinion. So you are still gonna have to use a case for this, or a pop socket. And I think if you find a good deal, go for it. If you can get one on unclaimed baggage, I think it's very much worth your time. If you can get one on sale with a trade-in or that, and you want that slight upgrade, go for it. If you are a power user like me, it may not be worth it though, because of the battery situation. And I'm eagerly awaiting the new model of the Kindle Oasis, whatever it's gonna be, to drop, because I will probably upgrade to that versus keeping the one I currently own, because of the battery. Like, the battery for me is a hard sell, and it's a hard thing for me to recommend you buy or upgrade to unless you as yourself as a reader really need these extra things. So like I said, my hands were hurting. The buttons were a nice mobility perk for me, and if you need that rest to hold your Kindle comfortably, absolutely spend the money. But if you don't, or you can adapt pieces for your Paperwhite, don't spend the money. All right, sorry if y'all heard barking there for a minute. My dog is having a time. He couldn't find me. So yeah, that's my take. I think if you really want the upgrade, go for it, but I don't know if it's worth it in the long run, y'all. I don't know yet. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you have a Kindle Paperwhite or Oasis, or if you're looking to get one. And if you don't want to do that, you can drop a ghost emoji in the comments. You can find links to everything I talked about, including where I bought my Paperwhite and where to get them on Amazon, in that description box, as well as links to anywhere to be my friend on social media. If you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up. I will talk to y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.